and I don't know if it was quarantine, that made him want to open a Bible, because, you can't do a dick appointment in quarantine.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 7th episode of
The Gays.
The Gays. Yeah.
Gays.
So today we have a very current topic, very heated topic, which is Lohanthony.
Moment of silence.
Moment of silence for the girl. Does anyone want to kick us off, or did anyone want to say something? Should we just are we just gonna go? Okay.
Crickets.
Okay. So I have a lot of thoughts, but my just general base thoughts, I'm all for spiritual awakenings, and if it's your God, whatever, that's for you. But also there's a little bit of something disingenuous about this in my heart. It doesn't feel, something feels a little bit off.
Yeah. It felt very weird.
Yeah.
Timing.
Yeah. I don't know. But personally, I didn't know. I think I knew of his name, but I didn't really know him and what his brand was. Did he do videos? I don't know. Was he a Instagram star? I don't know. But I just knew he was a gay man who was popular on SNS, social media.
Right.
And then I haven't heard of him in at least a couple of months, years. So
exactly.
Right. So he comes back, and I don't know if it was quarantine, that made him want to open a Bible, because you can't do a dick appointment in quarantine. So it's let me open a Bible.
He was bored.
All right. Couldn't open the whole. She had to open the book.
Open the book, right? So he wanted to, he wanted to open a book. So I'm all for finding your spiritual path, because connecting spiritually is something that we all talk about. That's something that we want to achieve. But I just think the narrative of oh, I'm a devout Christian, I follow God, and my gay past was something that was, I don't know, the devil was inside me, or I was committing the ultimate act of dishonesty to my God. I just think that's very harmful, and that's exactly the same stuff that puts us in kind of concentration camps. Also, what do you call it? Conversion camps as well. With death camps, in foreign countries, things like that. It kills LGBTQ people. So it's just that kind of rhetoric, posting it on his large platform is very it's just harmful.
What are you trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
Did you keep that to yourself? Because also too, we don't have to share everything we're going through. That's another thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah.
James, sound off.
Because
I know your religious background. Let's get into it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, in
yes.
general, I myself, growing up Christian, and my family is still very, very Christian. It's very, listening to what he was saying definitely brought me back to the things that I heard when I came out, or just growing up, showing those gay tendencies, whatever that means. And while I totally get okay, sexuality is not always concrete, right? It can be this fluid journey. Totally. And if his truth is, oh, I'm not gay anymore, okay.
Right.
But when you bring in this conversation of sinning and being God delivered me from the ultimate sin, which the sin is being gay, and then you're and you're preaching it I said bitch.
Anyways,
but what I was saying is, I just think that it's very harmful. It's very, because obviously a lot of his following are queer people, queer kids that looked up to him. I mean, he was that girl that did the
calling.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
like I remember, like I was talking to my sister about this. Like when we knew Lohanthony, the bitch did a fucking reaction video to the Reflection album of Fifth Harmony.
Right.
I said, girl, I'm not judging, but I'm judging.
Right.
Right.
So
Right.
it's very I think it's just harmful. And
Yeah.
it's not okay, because just religion in general, people love to use it as this weapon,
Yeah.
and to divide and to hate. And I know in my heart, I might not consider myself Christian, traditional Christian now, but I know that the Bible does not say to hate the fag over there, hate the fag on the corner, like. But yeah, that's
Well, the
my
Bible also
overall.
doesn't say a lot of things. The Bible doesn't
Right.
say. First of all, I thought all sin was equal. How is this one the ultimate sin?
Right, right, right,
Right.
right.
Right,
Right.
because girl, if that's the case, see you in hell with the murder. Like, okay,
This
but
is
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
my point. I think James, what you were getting at, something that I definitely agree with, is like, what has happened that you can't be like gay and Christian? Like, what happened to that? Because
Right.
I know so many gay Christians,
Yeah.
like devout. Like, let's even talk about like drag queens, like Asia O'Hara. Very
Monique
devout
Hart. Those
Exactly.
gals, yeah.
So that is harmful in itself. It creates a narrative that you can't be gay and spiritual like that. That's problematic in itself. And
Even that, like, that's like a lot. Really, it's part of my battle is how do I come into terms with, yes, I believe, do I believe in this higher power? Yes, but I can't also say that I'm a part of this organization that allows rhetoric that's hateful to my community.
right,
And it's just, it's like something I'm dealing with internally myself. And I know a lot of people are as well. Just how do you, it's like you love God, but you hate the church. And
exactly.
people say
Right.
you can't separate the two, but you can't tell me
Yeah,
what I can't separate in my heart or not,
You
exactly.
can. Yeah,
So
I agree. I feel like the actual religion, the physical book, like the connection you have, like I agree with that 100%. Like there's this difference between the religion and then the church is like the people and the people who you interact with and share that with. The
And it's also
people
that
can be
interpretation, which is where things
right. They can be very toxic, and the history of those people who have practiced and held community is very patriarchal, it's very homophobic, it's very like that's misogynistic, like all the anti-black be,
hello,
looks like
hello.
camera, looks like colonialism, because like the way the church has been used. And the thing is, they were it was always the spiritual until the people came and they used it and they threw it and they slapped you with it, and like, so yeah, so Lohanthony is just, he's putting two things together that shouldn't be. Like, you can say, oh, I'm not gay anymore, without, oh, God told me the God this and the God that. No, you could just say, I don't feel guys no more. And that's
right.
like that would be perfectly fine. Like, and then video, 5-second video, like, is done. Put it on Instagram, what do you
And
call
I
it? Reels
guarantee
or
you, people
whatever.
would still support him. Like they'd
Yes,
be
people
like,
still support you.
right.
Right, yeah. Well,
No,
I unscribed. I unsubscribed.
James,
right, right.
I didn't see that.
Done.
Next
Cancel. No,
question.
I was dying before because James was like, he did a reaction to Fifth Harmony, and after that, in my head, I was like laughing because I was like, well, what happened if you play Sledgehammer? And then he just all of a sudden turns it back into, and he's
He
like,
said,
as when
If
my
you could
head,
take
that's
my heart.
all of a
No,
sudden he
for
just
me,
switched.
the
Okay, yeah.
the other like intersection that I think it's a hard topic to navigate and discuss is the layer of sexual assault. I think
Oh
that
yes.
complicates things
yeah, of
for
course.
obviously that's his truth. You can't take that away from someone. That's his truth. I think it complicates things further for future victims or people who have been victimized, because it's like, oh, am I like either like sinful or like was it, because you know his whole thing was kind of, could someone James, I think, didn't you say this in the chat? Wasn't he kind of insinuating that, you know, he was molested and his molestation was the reason he was gay, correct?
Yeah, that's the gist that I got from it. That's the gist
that I got from it. And if we're wrong, that's fine. Just say in the comments. But that's what I got from it. And then to me, that's just adds another layer of it, because it's like the molestation layer with like the church layer.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like a lot of things just like, it's like throw him in a pot, and then like he got things confused, because it's like, but I understand why. I'm not going to say he's wrong for doing that, because I think with trauma, like you kind of like...
No. I'm not saying it's wrong.
You kind of throw them together. Yeah.
I'm saying I think that extra layer complicates things, because it's like...
We'll never know like what happened with him, and because the thing is like he was sexually abused, and the thing was, to him, I'm just trying to get in his headspace, but like him being sexually abused and then equals me being gay. So this gayness, every time I'm attracted to a man or like something with the man happens, I'm suddenly reminded of the first interaction, you know, I unwillingly had with the man, which was someone abused me. So he just, in his mind, like those things are probably equated. So he feels like he probably went to, you know, Christianity to like relieve or like feel like spiritually heal from the sexual abuse. But in his mind, as I'm saying, sexual abuse also equals to him homosexuality, and so it's like to him they're probably entities that are the same thing.
He sees them as like,
right.
I think the problem, what we're saying is like he sees it as like those are two evils that are the same.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, the guy who raped me was evil. Like the act that he did was a part of homosexuality. The evil act that he did was a part of, and so also homosexuality that I feel is also bad. Which is like, homosexuality as it is not bad. What he did, what the man did to you that was a bad thing. But being homosexual is not a bad, like that's like, you know, the layers.
That's what I meant by the layers. It's
And then also what I wanted to bring up was just in that little video that he released, he also he like basically equated how homosexuality was the reason why he had several of these addictions. And it's very dangerous to say that, like, it's not like these addictions are just present in the LGBTQ community. This addiction could have happened to anybody, no matter what their sexuality or their gender identity, any of these things. It's not just specified for one group. And I know that a lot of the time, even before, like when I was moving to LA, they're like, oh, that's the city of sin. And because of how like prevalent the gay community and the queer community is there. And it's so when he mentioned that, it just takes me back to that moment where these people equate this thing that isn't bad, inherently not bad. It's literally,
like, girl,
right? And then to equate it to like these addiction, trying to make these two like they go hand in hand. Go ahead, girl.
I will say, and I think this is a conversation we want to have with when it's all four of us, because we've all dealt with spectrums of this. I will say sex as punishment is a real thing. And like it's a negative, it can be a very negative coping thing. But again, as James is saying, I think he's equating, like there's so many layers that I think things in his mind aren't equating as maybe as they should be. And that's, at least that's how I feel. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You
so
know?
No, I agree. And I think that's like how I'm trying to see how he thinks. I'm not saying it's like I'm not telling him how to deal with his trauma. Maybe that's
Right,
not how he's
right, right.
dealing with it, how he's
Right.
processing
No,
it.
absolutely not. Right.
I
Yeah.
am saying go to therapy
But
though.
just
Like,
yeah.
Of course.
Try
Of course.
to
Yes.
kind of like clear things up with him and like things and like, you know, come to terms with things, because it's like you can tell still, even though he has been like saved, or like there's still like a sense of like there's a resolve that needs to happen, because it's like I'm trying to get in this headspace, but also like the way it's not over in the way that like it's still very problematic and harmful in the way he's like
because of his fan
equating
base.
these
I think that's the
things.
biggest thing is like just to go back to I think what James and I were saying. James maybe wasn't a huge like girly, but he knew that Fifth Harmony reaction. For me, I actually did like really like him at one point. Probably like middle
Yeah,
school.
actually. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so for me, obviously now that I'm like good and like I can like I've grown up and I can deal with this, it's fine. But like I worry about anyone who was younger who may have subscribed to his channel, or like anyone who still was like dealing with their trauma and hasn't like fully come to terms with themselves. I worry about the ramifications of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's he was super popular back then.
Super. Like one
Like,
of the gay YouTubers, like him and the landlord. Y'all know who I'm talking about? Not the landlord, Tyler.
The landlord.
The landlord. Oh, so now it's bad to be a landlord? Bye.
Ooh, girl.
no, but seriously, like Lohan, especially like he was really big on Vine too.
Yep.
And you know all the gals are on Vine. Like,
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
You were.
before TikTok,
all the big
all that
girls
shit.
are like Bretman Rock, Ricky Thompson, like they were all Vine people.
Yeah,
like all the
right.
big girls.
Yeah, even and Lohanthony and Ricky Thompson, they were best friends.
Yeah, I
And
wonder
all
what
that.
Ricky thinks. Ricky's probably like,
Right.
Right.
Him with Denzel.
Right. You know he's not with the
that
shit.
bullet.
So,
literally.
Well, white gays in general, but anyways.
yeah. Oh. Yeah. That's another podcast episode.
That's a different podcast. We'll get to it.
Right.
We will.
Yeah. Many thoughts. Two-parter.
Two-parter, right?
But yeah, it's very.
It's very.
Nice talk. Yeah.
It was a nice talk. I think that wraps it up on today's episode, right?
The last thing I'd like to say is that like Lohanthony, like, hey girl, like if you come across like this is really not trying to bash you, like and your truth and everything. We're just concerned of you trying to come on here and try to say this dangerous rhetoric that I don't think is healthy or needed. And I truly hope that like you heal, and it's obviously going to take a lot of time, but I don't think it was the best idea for you to come out and say what you say what you have said about equating the sin of queerness to why you lived with addiction, all of that.
Yeah.
It just wasn't tasteful, you know?
It wasn't Alex.
Right. It was like it wasn't giving me.
He didn't run it through no editor, no, you know what I mean? Like, you know when like things have potential but then they crash it. Yeah, that's what it was. Just no proofreading. You know when you write an essay and you just don't, you're like, that's what it was. That's what that video was giving.
Right, when it's that deadline is midnight, it's 11:50.
Right. Yeah. So like what James is saying, we are praying for your healing. We are not trying to bash you. We hope you get what you need. And yeah, that's pretty much sums it up. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode of The Gays, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.